Hello. Start with a quadratic equation where we have ax squared plus bx plus c is equal to 0. If we take this equation and solve for x using the technique of complete the square, we will end up with x equals minus b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. This is something that you should memorize, a formula you will use a lot more later on. If we have an equation such as 3x squared plus 2x equals 7, let's say we want to solve this using our quadratic formula. The first thing I want to do is make sure that it appears in the form of a quadratic equation. I'm going to subtract 7 from both sides. So now I have it equal to 0 here. I also have it equal to 0 here. Now I can identify the values of a, b, and c in my function. So I know that a is equal to 3, b is equal to 2, and c is equal to negative 7. So now I can directly substitute these three values of a, b, and c into the appropriate places in the quadratic formula. So here we go. X is equal to minus 2 plus or minus the square root of 2 squared minus 4 times 3 times minus 7. I like to use parentheses here to make sure that there's no confusion. All divided by 2 times a, which is 3. So let's just take a look and make sure that we've substituted properly. We've got a here and here. We've got b here and here of 2, and then we've got c at minus 7 here. So now all I have to do is a little bit of arithmetic to simplify this. I'm going to have the square root of 2 squared, which is 4. 4 times 3 times 7 is going to be 84. Again, two negatives make a positive here, so that's why it's positive 84. And I'm going to divide that by 6. A little bit more arithmetic underneath the square root. That's going to be minus 2 plus or minus square root of 88 divided by 6. So now I want to see if I can reduce underneath the square root. I know that 88 is 4 times 22. Remember that when you're rationalizing, you want to pull factors of this number that are perfect squares. And I know that 4 is a perfect square, so I can pull that out. So this becomes minus 2 plus or minus, I'm going to pull a 4 outside here, and that's going to be 2 times the square root of 22. And I'm going to divide each one of these by 6. It's going to make the arithmetic a little bit easier and a little bit more manageable. Negative 2 divided by 3 is negative 1/3. Plus or minus 2 divided by 3 is 1/3. So I'm going to have the square root of 22 and divide it by 3. I can write it as minus 1 plus or minus the square root of 22 divided by 3. If you're entering this into your computer software, as far as your solution goes, you need to make sure that you enter in both solutions. There's two solutions here, the plus and the minus. So we have minus 1 plus root 22 over 3, and we have minus 1 minus root 22 over 3.